What's going on, guys? Chunky back here on my channel. I'm here today for something a little different. With Avengers Endgame around the corner, I thought why not put together a little list talking about my predictions and things I think are going to happen in Avengers Endgame. This is only spoilers for obviously Infinity War, nothing about Endgame. I'm not really going to reference the Infinity War comic because it is quite different from the events that transpired in the Infinity War movie. I'm going to reference general comic knowledge, but obviously I haven't seen the film, I don't know anything about it, and I don't know what to expect. So, without further ado, these are my top 5 Avengers Endgame predictions. Okay, so number 5, super educated guess. Hawkeye, who seems to be becoming the character of Ronan, his family is somewhat dusted. If you saw the end of Infinity War, obviously half the population turned to dust. Obviously, that seems to be Hawkeye's family. Now, I'm starting in this one because it's a safe one, but I think that that's why he turns to the Ronan persona. Seems to be murdering people. I don't know if he's losing the plot a little bit. I think it's understandable as to why he would be on a path of some sort of revenge and want to join the Avengers to take down Thanos in the first place. That's a pretty easy one. So let's move on to 4 and get a little bit deeper. Number 4. Now, from what I got in the trailer, it seems to look like a certain amount of time has passed since the events of Infinity War, and I'm going to guess about 3 years. I have no real reason for saying 3 years, but it does seem to be at least a couple of years because the city seems to be living and moving on with what it's been given. It doesn't really show in the characters, they don't really look any different, but there is one character that looks a little different. If you notice, Black Widow's hair in Infinity War was blonde. There are scenes in this trailer where it is much longer and red again. So I'm thinking some time would have passed. However, I mean, in real life, it could have been a year. But I'm going to say 3 years, given that the city, there's a scene where Ant-Man's sort of looking at posters on the pole and stuff and trying to figure out what's going on. It seems pretty shitty. It seems like it's pretty dilapidated. It seems abandoned somewhat. So I think a couple of years have at least gone past. Number 3, the Avengers will be going into the quantum realm. Now, I wanted to say this was going to be some sort of time travel plot device. However, who knows? But I do know that from what we've seen in the trailer, they are wearing those white suits. I do think the white suits aren't just a new costume change. I do think that the quantum realm is going to have a big part to play in the Infinity War / Endgame saga. Now, the reason why I say that, obviously, if you saw Ant-Man and the Wasp, it's not really a spoiler for the film itself. This was actually a post-credit scene while Scott Lang was in the quantum realm. Certain people outside waiting to get him out were dusted along with the clique. So I think that he's obviously stuck in there. He gets out. I think that he's going to use the quantum realm as a way to maybe go back in time or sort of blink out of existence to maybe fool Thanos into thinking that they are gone. It's not really clear. Obviously, Thanos vanishes before everyone starts getting dusted, so it's not clear if Thanos knows who and who hasn't been eradicated or dissolved. But I think that the quantum realm is going to play a big part and be the central piece of how they're going to go back and obviously fix things going forward. Now, that seems to be, those 3 there seem to be something you can gather from the trailers. I'm going to do a bit more research now and go into my second guess. Number 2, Thanos does not die. Yes, Thanos does not die. Now, I know that in the comics, the Infinity War comic itself, Thanos doesn't die either. However, I'm not saying it just because he doesn't die in the comics. In the comics, the ending of Infinity War, which is the film, was actually a lot different. The comics show Thanos actually losing and accepting his fate and accepting what's happened as a lesson to things that he can't change. And that seems like something they do in the movie, but that seems pretty straightforward because there is that scene at the end of Infinity War where he sort of sits down in his little holiday thing, his little farm, and he's just smiling. the context of the comics is a little bit different. Now, obviously, it's not a spoiler because they have indeed changed this for the movies. When Thanos sits down in the comics, he's actually smiling as a result of acceptance of his loss and actually understanding why he's not really, or he shouldn't really be held responsible for eradicating half the population in the universe. So they have changed that, but I think for that reason, I think they'll come back and use that moral message, and they'll use that sort of moral center for Thanos to actually make him somewhat of a relatable character by having him accept some sort of fate. Now, obviously, I don't know that's going to be the ending, but I think that would be a more satisfying ending rather than just having Ant-Man go in to Thanos' ass and then expand. Although it would be cool. And number one prediction, I mean, I say it's a prediction, it's sort of not a prediction going off research outside of the film and trailers. Captain America is going to die. Now, I don't like saying that or hearing it any more than you do, but at the same time, Chris Evans has officially wrapped up his time as Captain America in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Now, obviously, these things are pretty cryptic. It's not clear as to say he's wrapped up the character altogether. Is he going into another character? Is he going to be a cameo in future movies? It's really tough to say, but I do think that in some capacity, Captain America is not only done, but will die in this film. Now, I think going forward, Captain America might be a relevant character. Just from general comic knowledge, other heroes in the Marvel Cinematic Universe have played the Captain America role or have taken up the mantle of Captain America, such as Bucky Barnes, the Winter Soldier, or Sam Wilson, I think it's who plays the Falcon. They have both taken on the Captain America mantle at one point in time in the comics. So who's to say that the MCU won't jump on board and make one of those characters a Captain America going forward? However, with Chris Evans being such an iconic character in the Marvel Cinematic Universe and playing such an iconic role, it's hard to really put anyone else in those shoes, much less being big shoes to fill in the first place. So that's it from me today, guys. Sort of a quick one. I didn't really go into too much detail. At the time of recording this, it's like 2 weeks before the film comes out. But by the time you see this, I'm actually in Bali on holiday for a week. So I wanted to get this up at least to flush out some content and keep the channel alive. So thank you very much for watching, guys. As always, like down below. If you didn't like the video, dislike, that's cool too. If you have any predictions, any thoughts, or if you just pumped to see Avengers Endgame, comment down below, guys. And most of all, subscribe. Thank you so much for all your support, both past, present, and future. And if you want to stay updated with all my latest content, click that bell button down below. Thanks very much, guys. I'm Chunky. Thanks for stopping by my world, and I'll see you soon. Take care.